Dudes, what is up? Let's give that another go. Let's give this live stream a complete reboot, and we'll see if we can't get this thing underway. I apologize. Apparently, YouTube is having trouble with live streaming at this point, and we're gonna see if we can't get this thing cleared up. I tried to live stream a few seconds ago. This is going to be discussing my distal bicep tendon rupture, how that happens, and sort of the treatment options that are available, how I think it happened to me, which is a little different than how it typically happens, and the deciding factors of whether or not you're eligible for surgery. And hopefully, if you're just finding this video because this applies to you, this was a live stream I did the night before my surgery. And we're going to be doing more stuff soon, kind of detailing how this happened and the risks that it poses. I'm Icy Mike. This is Hard to Hurt, channel dedicated to fitness and self-defense. This videos normally are funny. Normally we do comedy and stuff like that. And hopefully we can have some fun here, but and not be too serious. But I'm trying to get this stream going and make sure that we are actually live, because it appears that YouTube gobbled up and destroyed my stream. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm trying to bring up the stream on my little phone here so that I can see some questions. Basically, what happens to get a distal bicep tendon rupture, it's when these two tendons that connect your bicep to your bones down here. We are going to ask that to contract while lengthening. And he said a common way that this happens, if somebody hands you some shit, like a guy getting some plywood out of the back of the truck, handed it to him, and he's not quite ready for it, and this contracts while this is extending. So we're asking this to contract while it's lengthening, so like that shit sucks. That's hard for it to do. And I don't quite think that's what happened to me, because I can't recall anything like that happening. And at the moment that it popped, I was just throwing a super light little hook in light sparring. We were a couple weeks out from a fight, so we were going super light. Another guy commented in the other stream that he had the same thing happen on a light shovel hook, and that's kind of what I was doing. I was throwing a light shovel hook like that. Now, I think what happened is in the weeks leading up to this fight, I'd started training way harder, hitting the bag and pads, which I had not been doing for a long time. I'd been working just on skill and speed and strategy and my endurance and my gas tank. I do light, fast, touch sparring really with one of my closest training partners, Clifton Davis. And we can go really hard and really fast without hitting each other hard. Now, he does other types of training, and I do not train full-time. He's a professional fighter, and I'm not. So I said, well, I need to get my power back. Now, power is a thing that you know how to do. It's not a physical quality that you necessarily are going to develop greatly. If you kind of either have it or you don't. And that might be controversial. You can become more powerful, but there's little skinny, scrawny, wiry dudes that can hit hard as shit. And then there's big, strong dudes that are like, me, right? So what I think happened is that my body knew how to throw powerful shots, but I was sort of out of shape as far as my bone density and muscle density and the strength of my tendons and ligaments. And I was throwing shots that were too powerful for my scrawny little frame to withstand. So I was like too strong for myself, if that makes sense. I'm glad this live stream seems to be running better. I'm going to try to get to some questions, and I'll try not to dwell too long on a topic. Long John brought up a good point in the other stream about it has to reconnect to the bones of my forearm, and basically the way that that's done, here's how the surgery works in a nutshell. They take the tendon, they drill a hole in the bone, they tie a string to the tendon, and they stick the tendon down the hole, and then they drill a smaller hole and pull the string out, tie some shit to the string, turn it sideways, and now it can't pull out until it heals. And the doctor told me I'm looking at 6 weeks in a splint, and also, maybe 5 to 6 months before I feel confident enough to like lift and load that again. He seemed fairly confident that my athletic days and competing days and fighting days are not over. He said now if I was much older, not an athlete, that I would not be a candidate for surgery, that would not be an option. And that if I was like, in my 70s or 80s or whatever, that's just how you are. And unfortunately, for a lot of dudes who maybe don't have the option of getting surgery, I kind of see how they could get away with that, because in the past 3 weeks, I sort of have been able to do everything. Day one, I couldn't move it. I couldn't even lift my arm. A week later, I could do this, but I couldn't lift it over my head. And then I woke up the next morning and could do this. And then the morning after that, I was taking trash to the dump and like carrying shit around. But now I've developed a lot of soreness and stuff in my other muscles, much like, if you learn a new lift, if you're doing stupid ass like bodybuilder accessory shit. Look at this thing. Look at that piece of shit right there. It's like chicken in a package, and the packaging's too loose. It's like if you had a package with 4 chicken cutlets in it and you managed to get 3 of them out without disrupting the package, like what you'd be left with is that floppy piece of shit right there. And now I'm supposed to be able to see when I flex. Look, it's gone. It's supposed to go to here. I have a nice even right bicep. I have bad nerve damage in this one, so this one's all shrunk up. But I had a nice bicep, and here I am supposed to be able to tell dudes that I can teach them how to have a nice arm and how to be strong, and also how to train without getting hurt. It's been super tough around the studio. I'll talk more about how it's impacted my life and some more thoughts on the surgery coming up. We'll take a couple questions. What is my Instagram? I'm at Icy Mike P. Hopefully there'll be a link. I'm not sure exactly how this works because I had to restart this stream. Yeah, there's a link in the description of this video with my Instagram on it. Immediately after this, I'm going to go to Instagram Live and do a proper Q&A where I try to answer all the questions that I can. Let's take some questions. Jenna Loza, it looks gross though because you can see the missing muscle and it's weird. Oh, you moved it. Blech. Yeah, it's pretty intense. And actually, I don't know what's going to come across in the live stream quality. We can get a little shot where we see. Do you see this lump? This is the end of the tendon kind of hanging out in space. Sometimes I can get it to kind of move around some. Sometimes I can get it, like if I get this to relax, this will all kind of relax and even out and not look too bad. But it doesn't hurt. It hurts surprisingly less now than it did. So I could see how a dude, maybe a real hardcore dude that just wants to go back to work and doesn't trust doctors, or can't afford to take time off work, or doesn't have medical coverage, or like any number of reasons. I can see that there's lots of dudes that don't get the surgery. He said if you don't get the surgery, you're looking at 20% loss of strength by the time you heal. I don't know whether that's for me at my age or my level of fitness. I've heard as much as 50%, and I've heard a year to recover, and he said 5 to 6 months to I start lifting, but it's probably going to end up being a year to fully recover. The right hand was like a huge part of my martial arts. I have a famous, right uppercut, and I wanted to shoot a tutorial on it tonight before I went under the knife, but because I don't know when I'm going to be able to throw that thing again. But we didn't get a chance to shoot that, so maybe that'll be something down the road. No trick pony lock picking says it's kind of yeah, no, Long John, you're right. You don't want Cliff to hit you hard. Like Cliff can just lift his leg and he moves you around. I think maybe it was even you that made that observation. Yeah, Long John, they have to reattach the tendon in the radius bone. Let's see. I'm going through the live chat in a separate phone from the thing that I'm using. How can your fans support you as you recover? So, Neptune, I appreciate it. And Matt Howe did the super chat earlier, and I totally appreciate that stuff. I'm very rarely trying to sell you guys things. I don't try to do that. In fact, I just turned down a big brand deal, like a really big brand deal. I'm gonna check and see where we're at on time. That might be for another video, but a pretty large brand deal with a big brand. I just turned it down because they wanted me to try to sell shit, and I don't like trying to sell shit. You don't have to just watch the videos, man. Just watch the videos and share them. If you really want to kick in. I always tell people we got the shirts for sale in the Teespring link. We've got the Patreon. If you want to see like kind of some funny outtakes and stuff, there's a lot of stuff on the Patreon. But I don't try to sell shit. I don't sell courses. Not that I'm against it or I have any problems with people who do sell courses. I just haven't thought of a course that I feel confident I could actually bring enough value that you could pay for it. I feel like I can do a lot of good through free content and hopefully one day build up enough influence and following to do a seminar tour, or maybe, you know, it brings more people. I get a lot of people that come to the school now because they have seen YouTube. So you don't have to do anything. I don't need anything, but if you want to buy a t-shirt, I've always loved when people buy t-shirts. That's the, and the Patreon is usually, the Patreon is where the budget for videos comes from. And the t-shirts is where, like, you know, how I pay the water bill, that sort of thing. If you're just now joining, oh, King Kong says, to help you, I just watch your ads. I do push-ups every ad you play. I said that, I think I said that once. Just do your push-ups, bro, while let the ads play. You know, if you want to be a motherfucker that just sits on the couch and does shit like that, just drop down and give me 20 every ad break or every load screen if you're a gamer, that sort of thing. King Kong, I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Bobby Bush, do you think you can review a magazine-fed paintball pistol for self-defense? Actually, my mom sent me a link to the Byrna HD paintball pistol, which I was like, Mom, like, she's trying to get me fucked up. You know, she knows what I'm going to do with it. She just wants to see it. I'm looking at that. The budget for that stuff comes from Patreon, and those are, the cool ones are sort of pricey. But we're looking into doing that. We have some more stuff from the whip coming out soon. That actually Sunday we got another whip video coming out. Everyone wanted to know what would happen if we were wearing a jacket, so we found out what would happen if we were wearing a jacket. The forms. Hey, are you a Leo, born in the sign of Leo? I'm actually in the Cancer Leo cusp. Depending on how you ask, some people say I'm a Leo. I'm not into astrology. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know that I necessarily believe in it, but when someone can kind of guess what you are, that means maybe there's something to it. Let's take a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna see if I can't pop over to Instagram. Do you plan on producing Instagram exclusive videos? That's a good question. Not at this time. This is not my full-time job. I prefer YouTube to Instagram. I don't have a problem with Instagram. I prefer YouTube to Instagram because YouTube videos have permanence to them. Instagram is changing. They're adding, like, you know, they're going to make it to where it's more searchable and more, there's like a user interface where you can like find videos on topics on Instagram. Instagram is just like, blah, here's new shit, here's what's happening, here's what the machines have determined you want to see. YouTube, to me, I can put more work into the videos because they last longer and they'll help more people. A person goes on YouTube and is like, I want to learn some footwork for switching stances. Footwork to switch stances. Oh, here's some videos on it. And they can watch like several videos on it and find things that they like or that work for them or that help them with problems. That's why I like YouTube, is because it's permanent and those videos can help somebody forever. And that's really the name of the game when you do social media. If you do it correctly, you're just trying to figure out what people need and just get it to them. And then the rest takes care of itself. Jenna Loza, do more women's self-defense BS videos and corrections. Yes, now that Kristen is done with school, she's going to be featured on the channel more heavily, and she's going to start training. You know, she owns a martial arts and self-defense and fitness business, but she never actually trained there. She just did the cardio boxing classes, you know, and I didn't even try to really like get her technique. And a lot of times now she does the classes with the other trainer that we have there. But she says she's super serious. She wants to be a big part of it. So we're going to kind of chronicle her training, and so that maybe any women watching can relate, and all you dudes can maybe show this to your wives and girlfriends. And if they hear it from somebody that's not you, they're more apt to listen. I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to hop off here and run over to Instagram. You can go to Instagram, and my profile is @IcyMikeP. And we'll talk some more shit over there. Maybe have a little more fun than this super serious, depressing thing that nobody wants to watch. Appreciate all you guys. And oh, real quick, Long John wants to know, where's Big Booty Jay been? He's been in New York because he goes to New York for his birthday for like a fucking month. But he's in Sunday's video. He's made his return to the channel. Hope to see you guys soon. If you have just joined us because you found this video because you were looking for information on your distal bicep tendon rupture, I'm going to surgery tomorrow morning, and I'm definitely going to like collect more content on that and just give you more information, kind of chronicle that. And if you want more fitness tips, self-defense techniques, gear review, nah, I'm not doing that. It's a live stream. See you later.